Good afternoon and welcome to The Entrepreneur. It's a great privilege to host you guys today, and I'm very excited this afternoon. I hope you two are, for we have a wonderful package for you guys today. If you're just joining us for the first time, please do like, do comment, and do share the stream. We are live today with two incredible gentlemen, two amazing gentlemen whose lives I have seen evolve and grow. I have watched the entrepreneurial journey and I have seen them grow over time to become respectably successful in what they do. So today I'm going to bring them on board to share with you their journey. But listen, guys, this is the entrepreneur. Now, our objective here is very simple. Our objective is to educate people about entrepreneurship, to educate you about the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. We will talk about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. We will talk about money and investing. We will talk about, societal challenges and difficulties. Whatever it is that can help you as an entrepreneur, we will be talking about it here. Not today, but over the course of time and over the course of our activities. Over the past few years, I have been, training and growing and working and trying to improve myself. And in the same time, I have seen others do the same. As entrepreneurs, our goal, our objective is solving problems. When people are complaining, we look for solutions. When people are crying, we're trying to bring the joy on board. When people are saying that there is no way out, we say there is a way out. When people say there's a lot of dark times ahead, we say there is a lot of sunshine ahead. In fact, when they say there is a casting down, then we say there is a lifting up. This is what an entrepreneur is. You may not necessarily be an Elon Musk to call yourself an entrepreneur. You may not necessarily be a Dangote to call yourself an entrepreneur. You may not necessarily be a Vanderbilt or a Rockefeller or Andrew Carnegie to call yourself an entrepreneur. If there is a problem, a challenge in your local community where you are, and you are looking for a solution, you are trying to fix it, that is the spirit of entrepreneurship. And in each and every one of us, there is the spirit of entrepreneurship. There is something higher that says, this is not all that there is. This is not all that there can be. There is much more to this than meets the eyes. And you are being called and drawn into it. You are being challenged from within by the great and mighty I am, which is in you, saying, come up hither. You can do better. You can become better. You can absolutely smash it, regardless of what is happening around you. This is the story of every entrepreneur. They've gone through dark times. They go through dark times. They go through difficulties. They go through challenges and obstacles. They go through all manners of stuff that most people never ever get to see. And the people on the outside always get to see the good side. They don't see them in the mud. They don't see them when they are battered and bruised. They don't see them when they're having sleepless nights and thinking that perhaps tonight, perhaps today is the last day. Perhaps I'm not going to see tomorrow. But they yet, within themselves, they believe that there will be sunshine ahead. They believe that there will be a better tomorrow. This is the story of most entrepreneurs. And over the course of time, I will be bringing to you great gentlemen, women of substance, ladies that have made it, that have worn the pants of entrepreneurship, men that have worn the boots of entrepreneurship, that still bear, the bruises of entrepreneurship. As time goes on, I'll be bringing these incredible women and gentlemen from wherever they may be, as far as my hand can reach, as far as we can reach them together with you. So this journey that I'm on is not just about myself. It's also about you. It is your journey about success, your journey into the light, because we are all on a journey, journeying into the light. How that journey looks like at the end of the day is going to be absolutely dependent upon you. And I want to encourage you that regardless of the dark times that may come as you go on this journey, believe that it is possible. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you will succeed. Believe that the sun is going to rise again. And trust me, it always, always does. You see, one thing I love incredibly about the Bible is all the life journeys, all the life stories, all that you can ever think of is inside of it. All the encouragement you can think of, all the examples that you can think of are inside of it. But also, all the wisdom that you can ever require or need is inside. It says, no matter how dark the night may be, the sun will surely rise. The sun will surely rise. One of the greatest quotes that I love from the Bible says, write down your vision. Write it down plain and clear. Because when it is plain and clear, whoever sees the vision is going to run with it. Now, the Bible says, don't be discouraged when you don't see it happening as you expect. No, don't be discouraged, but hold on to it, for it will surely come to pass. It will surely come to pass. Every time I go on this journey and things seem a little bit challenging and difficult, I remember that quote that says, write down your vision. I have a huge book like this called my vision book. And every time I will go through it and I will see the ones that I can tick good and the ones that I will put an X on it, which means not yet achieved. But I believe within me that they will all be achieved. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have two incredible gentlemen that I'm going to be introducing to you today. I have Godlove Njisong with me, who is the founder of GoMAD Network. Now, GoMAD, not like go crazy, GoMAD as in go make a difference network. Think about that. Go make a difference network. He'll be joining me later on today, and he will be sharing his stories with you. I also have another incredible gentleman that I respect, whose foundation is doing phenomenal things across the nation of Cameroon, even right, into Nigeria. Reverend Pastor Thomas Akosa, who will be also joining me today. And he runs, in my opinion, one of the most successful private non-governmental organizations in Cameroon. He takes care of widows, he takes care of orphans, and he's doing such an incredible, incredible work. And I admire his spirit, so much. He will be joining us also today, and we also, over the course of time, I've got amazing things that I have planned for each and every one of you. I've got incredible lineup from people from Wall Street. I'm telling you, people that have floated companies on Wall Street, people that have floated companies on various stock exchanges, dealing in oil and gas, talking billions. These are the people that I will be bringing on board to you guys from the city of London, from across the nations of Africa, from Ghana to Nigeria to Cameroon to the Ivory Coast, the South Africa, wherever they are. I'm going to bring them here. The only thing that I ask is that you will also be here and that you will learn and apply what you learn. It will all be for nothing if this doesn't change somebody's life. It would have been for nothing. But I believe it's not going to be for nothing. I believe people will be transformed by what we're doing to contribute to the development of Africa and the development of our nation, Cameroon. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a break. And then when I come back, I'm going to bring one of my guests on board. So, Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Right here with me is my very first guest, Reverend Pastor Thomas Akosa. How are you doing, sir? How are you this afternoon?
Hi, Gerard. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very, very good. It's a pleasure to have you and to host you. How's your own
I
lady doing?
it's my honor. I'm glad to be on this platform this afternoon.
It's a wonderful privilege to have you, and I know people have been waiting to learn from your wisdom, and I know you've also been preparing to unload and unleash onto the guys today. So um, guys, I just want to introduce you again to Pastor David. He runs Light Outreach Foundation International. Like I said, in my opinion, one of the most well-run non-governmental organizations or charitable organizations that I know in Cameroon. And he's been doing phenomenal work. He's been helping widows and orphans. He's been, bringing people from all over the nation to train women, to empower them, teaching them life skills, uh, um, financial skills that transform their lives. And today it was, I definitely had to bring him on board because I wanted him to share this with you guys. He's also an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. And I know some people don't want pastors to be entrepreneurs, but no, hey, listen, I trust pastors who are more entrepreneurial than pastors that are not. You see, but guys, it's an honor to have him here today. Pastor Thomas. So, Pastor Thomas, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work? Tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you've been doing with Light Outreach Foundation. Hello, guys, wherever you're watching from, please do let us know. Also, share the live stream so that others can see and follow. So that do share so we can see. Do share so we know where you're watching us from. I see Abe Juliana from Bamenda, Cameroon. Incredible. Good to have you. Do let us know where you're watching from. I think we're having a bit of technical issues with our guest today. They're trying to sort out a couple of things. But hey, listen, guys, as I was saying before, on this journey of entrepreneurship, you will encounter a lot of issues. But do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. No matter how challenging you think it is, no matter how challenging it may become, do not be discouraged because you are not alone. There are many people on that journey. You may not just see them on the outside, but I can tell you there are many who are finding their way into the light just like you. One thing you always have to look at is look within you, for there is a lot of power within you. There is a lot of energy within you. There is a lot that is within you that can actually help you, on this journey. Personally, I have been through a lot of things. I have seen a lot of disappointments. I have failed more times than I would want to actually admit it. But hey, listen, I have failed severely. I have been beaten. I have been battered. I have had horrendous articles written about me. I have been called a fraud. I have been called a scam. I have been called all manners of names that you can possibly ever think of. But hey, listen, that is part of the journey. That is part of the package of being an entrepreneur. And to be honest, I wouldn't change it for anything. The only thing that I abide with, with, or that I stick with, or that I try to do every single time is to make sure that I do business with integrity. As you all know, my personal motto says integrity before profit. As long as I have done things with integrity, I can sleep peacefully at night. I can rest peacefully at night. And I know that tomorrow I will still have, people buying my products, people buying the services, people, supporting me. And hello, Oscar, joining us from Ghana. It's a privilege to have you all the way from Ghana. Good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather in Ghana today. So, people will always say all manners of things. You will face challenges. You will face storms. You will be disappointed. You will want to quit a million times. You will ask yourself many times, what on earth am I doing here? You will ask yourself if you're fooling yourself or if you're actually being real with yourself. You will ask yourself those questions. You will. You will. And if you don't ask yourself those questions as an entrepreneur, then either, you're truly not an entrepreneur, or maybe you're just not serious about it. But when you're serious and you go after what you believe in with all your heart, all your mind, you will ask yourself those questions. But do you know what? In those moments, even after you ask yourself those questions, you will always find courage. When you want to give up, you will find this thing from within you that says, you can do it. You can do it. And then you will something will click from your mind, something will click within you, and you will get up and you will keep going. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bring on board right now my guests who are here with me today. Like I said, I've got Mr. Godlove Njisong, who is the president and founder of GoMAD. And I've also got Reverend Pastor Thomas, who are joining me today. So I'm going to bring on board Mr. Godlove Njisong, the gentle giant, like they call him. And hello, Godlove, how are you? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, I think we're having, some issues with the network. Sorry, guys. Sometimes we plan these things, but technology sometimes has its own way around trying to make us disappointed or trying to discourage us. Think about it. This is exactly what I was talking about. Sometimes you may plan something and you think it's going to go right. You think it's going to go on well and smoothly. And then you realize at the end of the day, things like this keep showing up. It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. You see, sometimes you may have a deal, and maybe the lifeline of your business is dependent upon that deal being successful. And when you're going inside the deal, when you're going to the deal, you know that this deal is a done deal. It is closed. It's done. We're done with it. And then you get on the table with the people with whom you're meant to close the deal with, and everything falls down. And then you leave that place shattered, discouraged. Some people actually do take their lives because they cannot bear it. But others, they leave that place, though their heads are down, they go home and they find the strength to wake up the following morning and keep doing what they're doing. This is the journey of every entrepreneur. Our topic of discussion today is doing business in a hostile environment. How do you succeed in business in a hostile environment? How do you do that? And then the one of the questions that I'm going to ask these gentlemen, if they eventually do come on board, is there any such a thing as a hostile business environment? How do you even define a hostile business environment? Is there such a thing as a hostile business environment? Now I'm asking you guys who are watching, from wherever you're watching, is there any such a thing as a hostile business environment? What do you guys think? Do you think there's something like that? Just let me know. Let me know what you think. Is there something like a hostile business environment? Is there something like that? Let me know what you think. Because to be honest with you, I believe that every hostility is a great opportunity, no matter how hostile it may be. Yes, it may seemingly look hostile. But remember what I said about every entrepreneur or the story of an entrepreneur. You find the problem, you look for the hostility, and you bring in a solution. This is what we do as entrepreneurs. Where there is hostility, you will find the greatest of inventions or discoveries coming forth out of those places. So, is there any such thing as a hostile business environment? Do let us know what you think in the comments. Let us hear what you have to say about it, and let's see what our guests have to say today about this particular topic. If there is anything as a hostile business environment, even though the network is seeming not to allow us to be able to do this. But listen, I am hoping that this is going to go on smoothly and that we're going to have our guests talk to you guys. So, is there such a thing as a hostile business environment? What do you guys think? You let me know. You let me know. So, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to bring on board my guest again, but I'm not going to leave you like that. So, all right, welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry, guys. Sorry, we keep having these glitches here and there, but that is just the nature of technology. It is man-made. It is not mistake-free or mistake-proof. We still have those kind of issues. But today, our topic of conversation is there any such a thing as a hostile business environment? And that was the conversation we were meant to be having right now, if there is such a thing as a hostile business environment. And I'm still trying to bring on board my guest. The internet is playing some games, but I hope we can be able to bring them on board. I hope I can be able to bring them on board so they can share with you guys. I think I'm going to try again to bring Pastor Thomas on board. I'm going to try to bring him on board again, and let's see if the internet lets him this time around to talk to you guys. So Mr. Godlove is also trying from his side to be able to join us. Let's just give them a few more minutes and see. All right, bring in Pastor Thomas now. Hello, sir. Welcome again. How are you? We cannot hear you. Can you increase your volume, please? Can you increase your volume, Pastor Thomas? Because we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. No, we can see you, but we cannot hear you. We definitely would like to hear you. Guys, let us know if it's just me that I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Check your microphone and see. Take your microphone and see if. Okay. I think you can try using an earpiece. Probably with the earpiece, we can hear you. See if you can use an earpiece. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Hey, the story of every entrepreneur. Sometimes things go exactly as you planned. Sometimes they don't. And you just have to make the best out of the situation. So, today, all right, I'll try to bring my guest again. All right, welcome back, sir. Can you hear us? Oh, we still cannot hear you. I'm not sure. Still cannot hear you, sir. I don't know why we can't hear you. Still, we cannot hear you. Check if. Oh, still no good. Still no good. Okay. Yes, I believe every challenge in business is a potential ground breeding for new ideas. That's right. That's right. I'll just let Pastor Thomas to try and fix, his. We still couldn't get the sound. We couldn't hear him. Just sorry, guys. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Okay, you're coming on board now. Can you hear us? No. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Still cannot hear you. Can you try using maybe a different device? Just try using a different device. All right, guys. Sorry about all of this. It's part of the journey. Talk about doing business in a hostile environment. This is definitely a hostile environment. The internet is posing a lot of threats. Isn't that amazing? Talk about hostility against the entrepreneur. But hey, listen, guys. Like I was saying before, every hostile environment presents a great opportunity. It presents a great opportunity for those who see it not as hostility. It presents a great opportunity for those who take upon the opportunity and say to themselves, regardless of what we see, there is still nuggets of success right here. So, guys, I'm going to try again to bring Pastor Thomas on board. Hopefully, we're going to be able to hear him this time. Hello, sir. Hello, can you hear us?
Hi, Gerard. Can you hear me, please?
Very well. I can hear you right now. Finally,
I can't hear you now.
You cannot hear me?
I can't hear you.
Wow, that's strange.
Just give me a second. Let me use the earpiece.
All right, guys. Now I can hear him, but he cannot hear me.
Okay.
That's weird. Technology, technology, technology.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
But I can hear you.
Okay, that's weird.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you live. We can hear you.
Oh my goodness.
We can hear you all right.
What's happening to this thing?
We can hear you. But it seems you cannot hear us. Initially, you could hear us and we could hear you. Initially, we could hear you and you could hear us. But now it seems you cannot hear us, but we can hear you. Can you hear
Hello,
us?
Gerard?
Yo, hi.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Very well.
Okay. Good.
Finally, it seems we finally succeeded to bring you on board. we got there in the end. We got there in the end. How are you?
Good. How are you too, Gerard, and everybody? Glad to be on board.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Definitely today we're talking about, success, how to succeed in business in a hostile environment. And the internet has been quite hostile, actually, against us. Talk
It
about
is
the topic, right?
right.
All right, sir. So I want you to tell the guys a little bit about your story. Let them hear your story, because I think you have such an incredible story from where you started to where you are. Now, I know you are a pastor and you may have this tendency to start preaching for hours, but hey, listen, you just have to bear with us and just try to, suppress it or just minimize it so that the guys can get the nuggets of the wisdom from your story. So tell us your story. How did it all begin with you? And how have you found yourself here?
Thank you again for the opportunity, Gerard, and thank you for this wonderful platform. And everybody watching, I greet you if it's afternoon your time or morning your time, wherever you're watching from the part of the world. It's been a great journey and a great story. First, I will begin by saying a great man said, there is no glory without a story.
That's right.
If you see anyone with a good, beautiful glory without a story to share, then you should run away. Every great destiny definitely has a story. My own little story, if I should summarize, is I lost both parents at a very early age, at 2005. Just had advanced level, and then it was a difficult time. It was a very hard and a very tough time. I remember those days. I used to be in Yaoundé. I would sell CDs, sell bananas, every little thing you could think of. That's because I couldn't afford what it takes to go to the university. And by 28 or say 29, I was admitted in ENS Bambili as a private candidate, and went through ENS for a time, and then got the call to be a pastor. Went through the Bible school, was ordained as a pastor 2011. Wow. Now I felt comfortable. I thought, okay, God, you called me to do this work. But then the pastoral field is a big field. It's a field where you have different offices and different assignments. So my worry then was, what's my assignment? What am I supposed to do? So that pushed me into seeking the face of God and finding out specifically, so that I don't try to be a prophet when I'm not one. And then maybe I start telling lies instead of prophesying, trying to be an apostle and then attract unnecessary demons on my head when I'm maybe not one. So between 2011 and then 2014, I had this major challenge I went through in the church where I was fellowshipping at that time. And that pushed me to take off some time with God. And within that time, it was clear what I was supposed to do. So by 2014, the vision for the foundation was given to me. It was clear. I was in Nigeria then for a retreat. And then God gave me the vision for the foundation. And he said, you will feed my people and you will call the name of that GNO, you will call it Light Outreach Foundation.
Wow.
So when I got back 2014, I started with a widow and an orphan, and God began to show his faithfulness. Then by 2018, 2019, we had sponsored over 120 orphans in school, and we had over 80 widows, over 800 widows we had given food and support items to. Now, doing this assignment by 2018, 2019 became so challenging because at the time it looks as if there is nobody to support. You see the orphans, you see the need, the calling you on daily basis. They either need food, they need school fees, they need shelter, a lot of things coupled with a crisis in the Northwest and the Southwest. And I really didn't like the situation. So it dawned on me, hey, guy, you need to do something. What can you do so that you can help these people, not necessarily depending, waiting on the government? By then, of course, I didn't even have the license yet. I didn't even know how to go about getting funders abroad and all that. So I needed to do something because I couldn't just let these people down.
Yeah.
So I started with a car wash, 2017, 2018. I began a car wash. Sometimes I will go there myself, wash the cars with the guys, and then by the end of the month, we pay the bills, and then we have something at hand. We can help the people. Then gradually, the idea of business began coming, and then by 2019, I needed to find out from God if the business line is my line, because sometimes if it's not your place, if you dare it, then you may not end up well. So by 2019, it was clear that I was called not just to do charity, but an evangelist and much more a financial giant to the church. This line was very clean. If I must be a financial giant to the church, then I must find out what it takes to be one.
That's right.
I must find out what it takes to support the church, what it takes to run the charity organization without necessarily depending on funders, unless the ones that God to bring my way.
Yeah.
So by 2019, it dawned on me, hey, Thomas, you are an entrepreneur. A Christian, I will put it in quote, good Christian entrepreneur. So that's how I found myself into the business world by 2019. And of course, with the coaching of my mentor, Gerard talking here, I began the journey, and then maybe as we go on, we hear more. So that's a little bit of the story.
Thank you very much, Pastor. I'm just seeing our next guest, Mr. Godlove. I'll try to bring him on board. Hello, Mr. Godlove. Can you hear us? Please let us know if you can hear us. All right. What an amazing journey. That is an incredible story. Obviously, along the line, I've been privileged to witness some of that. And I must say, I know it hasn't been easy, but I am very, very, happy that you didn't give up along the way, because most people will just stick their heads in the ground and then they'll call it off. But that is not you, is it? You just that's good. All right. So our topic of conversation today is, how do you succeed in a hostile business environment? I'm going to ask you, is there any such a thing as a hostile business environment? Do you believe there is a thing called a hostile business environment? What do you think?
one of the practical examples of a hostile business environment is Cameroon.
Okay.
Uh,
Why would you say
talk
that?
less of Africa, but Cameroon first. In the whole of Africa, Cameroon is number one. So,
Okay.
if you ask me, does it exist? Yes. There's what we call hostile business environments, and Cameroon is number one in that field. I can tell you that.
Why do you say that?
Maybe you want to know what it means, what a hostile business environment is.
Yes.
It's in simple words, it's the business environment that is not friendly, that would not give you opportunity to do business with ease, get the profits thereof, or the kind of environment where there's been a lot of restrictions, a lot of rules that has limited the flow or the well-being of the business world in that environment.
Right.
So there are probably rules, probably some challenges or things that has been put in place that makes it difficult for business or businessmen to succeed in that environment. So that makes it a hostile environment, a business environment, and I can tell you Cameroon is one of them, one of those places that will make business so difficult for you.
So what characterizes a hostile business environment?
There are a lot of things you want to look at. A lot of things you want to look at that will make an environment, a business environment, hostile. First, you can talk about, let me put it, the political and the legal factors.
Okay.
For example, I give you an example. Sometimes you go to environments and then the political rules or the political situation of that environment doesn't make business friendly. Now, sometimes it could be, you see things like the tax situations, for example, in Cameroon, you don't see a lot of factories because of the tax situations. I just discovered in Nigeria, for example, there is no car created or that you wouldn't find in Nigeria. Why? Because the custom duties is so low. But we have the custom duties in Cameroon that is like, for cars, is like 120%. So if you were to buy a car, say in the US for 3 million, you're going to pay, say, 4 million to clear off the car in the port.
Wow.
So that makes it already so difficult. But in Nigeria, someone with, say, 50,000 francs, 100,000 francs owns a very good car, because with just as little as 1 million francs, you can clear off any car of your choice at the port. Now, if you go to like Cotonou, for example, in Cotonou, every container is cleared for 500,000 francs. It doesn't matter what is in the container. So it means you get there, you will see that the car business is stopped. You go to Cotonou, you will see all sorts of cars. So we have the political factors that makes the business environment hostile. Number two, we have the global factors. For example, I heard something a few days ago and I was laughing. I said, "Oh, my country, Cameroon, where Gerard, you used to say that we're going to buy Cameroon and then manage it." Russia began a war with Ukraine. Few days after the war began, prices in Cameroon for everything, even the things that are not produced, that don't come from Ukraine or Russia, suddenly just went up. And then they said it's as a result of the war in Ukraine. Cement, a bag of cement used to be sold for 4-5. Now it's at 6-5, getting to 7,000. Wow. Cement has nothing to do with Russia and Ukraine. You see, maybe of course flour. Yes, we can talk about flour because majority of the flour, 90% of flour eaten in Cameroon is imported from Turkey, and the Turkey gets it from Ukraine or from Russia. So you see that you have global factors that can affect, that can cause the business environment to become hostile. Now, another very important thing that causes the business environment to become hostile is the bank. The banking system in Cameroon is horrible.
I know.
the cheapest bank will give you a loan for 15 to 70% annually. That's huge. Now, before they give you the loan, my brother, you would have gone through serious pain. They will ask you all kinds of documents, and if they have a way to ask for your debt certificate in advance, they will ask for it.
Okay.
And you know, we needed 50 million one time, and then we went through the bank, and at the end, they didn't even give us the money. But we had a good business plan, that we produce at almost no time. But the banking system in Cameroon generally, if you go to Nigeria, I was talking with a friend who owns a bank in Nigeria, I told you, Gerard, and he told me, oh, in Nigeria, his bank gives out a loan for maximum annually 6%. And I was like, 6% monthly or annually? Say annually, and that's expensive. I like, don't mean it. Say, yeah, other banks give for 4% annually.
Yeah.
And I told him, Cameroon annually, the cheapest bank annually will give you for 15%. Yeah. He said, you mean 15% for 5 years or annually? And I was like, annually. You see the difference? Yeah. That's why you have top businessmen in Nigeria, because it doesn't cost a young 15 to 18-year-old guy in Nigeria go to the bank. Then the bank will give him this 30 million. He goes to China, brings in containers upon containers. And then within no time, he's turned it off. And then 6% is almost nothing. He's paid it off and then takes again. And then before you know, the guy is on his feet. But in Cameroon, the banking system has really made the business environment so hostile. So sometimes the banking system is one of the things that will make an environment, the business environment, hostile. Another thing that I talk a lot about Cameroon, of course, I'm in Cameroon, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
The mindset. The mindset of the people. Now, we were trained, I'm sure those listening to me will be a witness to this. Most of us grew up where we're taught that the highest you will do two things. Either you grow up and then get advanced level and a degree, and then your father will do everything to bribe your way into ENS or into ENAM or EMEA. And then if they can't get you into the public sectors, then they try as they can to get maybe a 5 to 10 million, then send you abroad. That's been the mindset of most of our parents. I mean, till date, if you put down 80% of parents in Cameroon, most of them think their children.
Hello? Okay, sorry about that, guys. We really got going there for some time. But apparently it seems the network is still on our case. It doesn't seem to have abated its pain. But that was a good one that he's sharing. So he was talking about the banks, that the banks can cause a business environment to become very hostile. And I know a bit about that. And that is absolutely true. I do agree with that. I've banked in Cameroon, I've banked in the US, I've banked in the UK. I have banked offshore and onshore. So I know that the banking sector can definitely cause a business environment to become excruciatingly painful, or they can make it to be as easy and lovable as possible. So definitely a great banking, every economy is built on the easiness to access finance. I can tell you this, all entrepreneurship, the success of entrepreneurship in every country is dependent on the ease to access finance. If you cannot access money, if you cannot have, if you cannot you're not able to get a loan to do your business, no matter how great the idea is, friends and family can only give you a certain amount of money. Until you get to a certain stage, they can no longer fund it. Then you need to go to the bank. But if the bank is charging you 15% a year, 18% a year, it means if you make just 20% a year, you're only going to be left with about 5% if they're charging you 15%. So, but if you can have cheap capital or cheap finance, if you can have cheap money, if you can borrow cheap, like in the UK, you can take a Typical bank loans, range depending on how big, the company is. A company like Apple, Apple can take a loan for like 0.09% interest rate or 0.05% interest rate. Businesses that are not well established, they can take a loan for like 3-4%, a year. So if they take a loan for 3-4% a year, they have a chance to grow over time, considering if they make, if the profit margin on that business is just about 20% a year, they can still be left with 15%, which is good. You want business people to be making money from the money that they borrow from the banks, not the other way around. You don't want the banks to be making money from the money that people are borrowing, trying to develop the economy and to grow the economy. No, we want business people to have access to cheap finance so that they can make profit and keep growing. Because if entrepreneurs are not growing, the economy is dying. I can tell you this. America is America today because of the spirit of capitalism and entrepreneurship that has become a part of the culture. And that is why you can borrow money in America anywhere from 0.05%, depending on how big of a company you are, to like 2 or 3 or 4% a year, unless you want to take credit cards. But credit cards, then you pay like 15, 12, 18%, 26% sometimes. So that's a different ball game altogether, you see. But as for businesses, we want entrepreneurs. You want entrepreneurs to have access to cheap finance, because without cheap finance, without money being cheap, entrepreneurs cannot make money. And if entrepreneurs are not growing in any economy, trust me, that economy is dying. And I can understand the pain of Pastor and many other people from Cameroon. I come from Cameroon. I know the country. I know that it is painful banking in Cameroon. It's one of the problems that we are looking to solve. We need to solve banking in Cameroon. All the bankers, you can hear me, is horrendous. You should make banking fun, easy, and accessible to the people. Not like poking them. If somebody wants to go and make a withdrawal, they charge him. Somebody asks for a bank statement, they charge him. Somebody asks for, you send a text message, you charge them, you charge them VAT. It's horrendous. So definitely, the banking in Cameroon needs someone to step in and disrupt it. And if the banking sector is not doing what it's supposed to do, making capital or finance available at cheap interest rate to people, then entrepreneurs cannot grow. And that is why you have very few successful businesses in Cameroon compared to other places like in Nigeria. Nigeria is doing incredibly well because of access to finance. But think of a country like Rwanda as well. They are doing incredibly well right now, access to finance. But if you tighten financial supply and you make it financially difficult and burdensome for people to get capital, or for entrepreneurs, I'm mostly concerned about entrepreneurs, not people who borrow just to spend on whatever they want to spend. If you make capital accessibility to entrepreneurs difficult, how do you expect the country or the economies to grow? So we are saying that sometimes a business environment can become hostile because of difficulty accessing finance. So if you're a banker listening to me and you're in Cameroon, if you have invested in a bank in Cameroon and you're listening to me, please, for the sake of the country, try to reduce your interest rate. 5% is okay. 6% is okay. 7% max. Anything above 7% is exploitative. It's not good for the country. It may be good for your pocket, but you're not helping the people to grow and you're not helping the economy. So be more patriotic. So I'm going to bring Pastor Thomas again so he can carry on his train of thought. Hello, sir. Good to have you back. I hope your internet is stable now. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? All right. I think we're still having the same challenge. But yeah, so definitely the political situation definitely can cause an environment to become hostile. The banking system can cause an environment to become hostile. The legal system, I mean, I'm talking about the rules or the laws, the economic policies, definitely, like in Cameroon, is horrible. I don't know how much people pay in taxes, 38% or 40 something percent in taxes. That's horrendous. Horrendous. Why would I want to make my money and keep it in Cameroon? Why would I want to make money in Cameroon when I'm going to give 40% away? Why? No, I'm just asking a reasonable question. Why would anyone want to be paying such high taxes? This is why the rich people, they have offshore bank accounts. Why? Because they don't have to pay taxes. Why can the governments not learn? Even here in the UK, income tax is like 20%. It's still very high in my opinion. It's still very high. Corporation tax is probably like, depending on the size and the scale, probably like 15, 18%, which is still very high. Why would I want to make such amount of money and then I'm paying such a big chunk to the government? I'm just asking, just a question to ask, you see. But hey, I know that the taxation system everywhere in the world, I'm not against taxes, by the way. I like paying taxes, but not on the government's terms, because the government don't know how to make money. The governments only know how to spend money. Every government, America, the UK, China, all of them, they only know how to spend money. They don't know how to make money. The people who make money are the entrepreneurs. So why would people be making money and giving it to people who don't know how to make money to spend it? They're just going to ruin it and ridicule it. But hey, listen, you have to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. You need to pay your fair share of taxes. But all I'm saying is that the governments can be a lot smarter when it comes to taxation. I'll be very happy paying 10% tax. That's okay. Whether it's corporation tax, make it 10%. Personal tax, make it 10%. If you do it that way, the rich will be like, okay, it's all right. I can afford to pay 10%. It's okay. But if I have to give you 40%, come on, like, were you sweating with me when I'm sweating to build my organization? Of course not. You see. So, hostile policies, hostile banking system, hostile political system. Definitely, there is such a thing as a hostile business environment. But I can tell you that no matter where you find yourself as an entrepreneur, there will always be some things in there that may make you say that their place is hostile. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you there for a few moments and I'm going to be back. Okay? See you soon. Don't go. All right. Welcome back, guys. Hey, listen, we've been having a lot of challenges today, but it's part of the journey. Sometimes you plan things and they go on smoothly. Sometimes they don't. But as entrepreneurs, we have learned to deal with whatever life throws at us. You give us the lemons, we'll keep making lemonade out of it. You throw mud at us, we will transform the mud into a cake Whatever you give, whatever you throw at us, we'll make something good out of it. But hey, listen, guys, it's been an honor for me to host you guys. I know you probably would be spending time somewhere, but what we're doing here, the objective is simple: is to educate, is to encourage, is to motivate, is to also make you to look from deep within yourself, regardless of your background. It doesn't matter where you come from. I want to say there is greatness in you. You haven't seen your best yet. You've not achieved your best yet. Even if you're 70 and you've done incredibly well, still I want to say there is a long way ahead. There is still something greater that you can achieve. And I want you to look from deep within you, for there is something in you that you can look out and you can say, I am this. You can say, I am this, and you can become that. And that is the power within each and every one of us. That is the power within every one of us. There is a lot of greatness, a lot of potential. There is a lot that we can all do together. And one thing before, as we are actually meant to be closing, anytime now, fortunately, all that we had, with the gentleman hasn't been presented to you guys, but the network hasn't been fair. But hey, listen, there's still going to be another section, another segment coming this Sunday. I will bring in a great gentleman. Most of you know him. He's called Richard, or aka the mentor. So he'll be joining me this Sunday live in the afternoon. You definitely don't want to miss that as well. So, but I'm still going to try now to bring Mr. Godlove Njisong live. Hopefully, the internet will permit us this time around. Hello, Mr. Godlove. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Finally, we managed to get you on board.
Unfortunately, the network has been so bad.
Yes. One of my friends will say that if the gods of the internet allowed, then we would be able to have a conversation. But hey, listen, it's great to have you here this afternoon. Thank you for taking out time to join me. It's been, I've been following your work. I've been seeing you grow and develop over time. From pulling a few hundred people together to now you're pulling in thousands of people from across the nation of Cameroon in your GoMAD event. And I see the energy. It is passionate, it is fun, it is exciting, but also it is full of lessons for the people. And it excites me seeing that we've got a Tony Robbins rising in Cameroon, So it's definitely great to have you here. Can you share with us briefly about your story? Can you share with the audience briefly about your story?
Okay, let me start by thanking you for the opportunity you've given me to be on your platform. You are someone I respect so much for what you are doing. Always thinking about engineering the human minds for them to be able to develop themselves, have their maximum capacity and grow financially. And so when you ask me to tell the story, my story, I'm sure you are asking about the story of GoMAD.
So, all of it. I want to know all of it.
Okay, let me start with my background. I'm an engineer by training. I studied metallurgical engineering, and I was working as an engineer, project manager, sales manager, and all that had to do with engineering up to 2018. But somehow back in university, I'd read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And since when I read that book, there's a seed that was planted in me of being an entrepreneur. But I was not really thinking about the traditional entrepreneurship. It was about, developing capacity, building capacity. It was along those lines. So when I came back, I started work with Alpha Engineering. That was in 2011. Worked there for some time, and then went on to work with PPG, it's the biggest paint company in the whole world. Worked with their branch here in Cameroon as the sales and market as a technical and sales manager for Cameroon.
Okay.
Up to 2018, I was making good income, had a great career path, but there was this longing. There's this longing inside that something was missing. I was not fully fulfilled. And when I did a deeper assessment, I could easily find out that I was not doing what I was born to do. I knew.
All right. Network. Sorry, guys. Sorry again. I think we're still having the internet is still dropping. We still got a bit of issue there with Mr. Godlove. But
are we together?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Welcome back. Welcome back. You froze for some
Okay. Okay. I just noticed that the pictures were still. So I started the quest to go about what I knew I was born to do. And when I made that decision to develop the personal development industry in Cameroon, because it was not something that was popular as it is today, I decided to give myself the training that will permit me to do it the right way. Because I did not just want to jump into it as an amateur. So in 2018, I said, okay, the person who planted the seed in me is Robert Kiyosaki. Why not attend his event? But I did not know where to do that. So in looking through Google, the heavens, the world, the universe knows how it orchestrates events to bring you the help. I just discovered that he will be having an event in South Africa. So I followed up with Success Resources, attended Robert Kiyosaki event in South Africa, later on in Singapore, and a couple of other trainings in the Philippines, Uganda, Kenya, to develop myself as a coach, as a personal development trainer. And the same year in October, I launched the first edition of GoMAD, and we had 47 people in attendance. So less than 4 years down the line, we are the 7th edition, and we are pulling together thousands of people. But the first edition was actually just 47 people. Second edition, 65. Third edition, we went up to 100. We crossed the 100 mark. From there, we have been doing hundreds, and now moving to thousands at the 7th edition, less than 4 years after we started.
Wow. That's an incredible, like I said, I've been watching and I have seen you actually grow, and it's something that I'm very proud of. To
Thank
actually
you so much.
see somebody, start something, stay committed and grow it. Because it is easy to start something, but it's the most difficult and most challenging thing is staying committed to bring that vision to reality. There is one thing I noticed. There's one thing I noticed about you. You and your wife, you are like a power couple. We're talking about a society that says the woman should be in the kitchen. You make the meals. You bring the meals to me when I've worked and I've come home and I'm tired. You give me a nice massage and you serve me food. But that's not you. There is such great wisdom, and there is only one person that I know who is doing this, and that is my mentor, Grant Cardone. We call him Uncle GC. He's a very active man. He and his wife, they're power couple.
They're a power couple. I have so much respect for them.
Yes. So why in Cameroon are you doing this with your beautiful wife, Miranda? Like, why? Because you're stepping out of the norm. Like, I don't know anyone in Cameroon doing this. In fact, like, apart from Grant Cardone, whom I follow, was my mentor, who I know doing this, I don't know anyone else. Why did you choose that path?
Okay. Interestingly, the first time I saw my wife, I'd actually gone to their school to do a training on the topic Think Big on voluntary basis.
Okay.
And we lost contact. I never thought of anything. I never knew that down the line we'll meet again to become husband and wife. But it has to do with my understanding of what marriage is. My understanding of marriage is that when the two come together, they become one.
Right.
And when they become one, they should be able to go after the same vision.
That's right.
And so it doesn't matter whether she's an accountant and I'm an engineer. It doesn't matter what I'm doing to. We should be working together to empower each other. So while I empower her, she's also there like a support for me. So basically, that's why almost all the trainings that I took overseas, I actually took them with her. And so it's no difference that that she has the same capacity that I'm having.
Right.
And so basically, it has to do with my understanding of what marriage is, which is two people becoming one, going for the same vision, and being supportive partners in this particular journey. It's not one person saving the other person.
Right. So what would you say for young entrepreneurs like yourself, like who think that, it's okay for their wives to be helping fulfill somebody else's vision other than theirs? What would you have to say about that? Because basically, if you let your wife work for somebody else, you're letting them fulfill someone else's vision. When the two of you can become a power couple and you can do amazing things fulfilling your own vision. What do you see to young entrepreneurs?
Now, the problem is when you suppress her to always support you to achieve your goal, you are actually suppressing potential. You are actually suppressing dreams. You are suppressing a vision. But now, if the two of you combine, work together, I believe what the two of you can achieve is actually more. Correct. Now, I'm actually okay for one of the two partners compromising for a while, maybe for a particular one to cross a certain bridge so that the two of them can continue. But if it's to, internally suppress one and then allow the other one to continue to grow, at one moment, there's frustration that is going to grow out in the other partner that will be expressed in a way that may not be helpful to the couple. That's how I see it.
Incredible wisdom there. And I totally agree with you, because I think, I know we are maybe like kind of digressing a little bit, but one of the main causes of divorce is because one partner grows and then the other partner doesn't. One partner feels their dreams and emotions are being suppressed while the other one is on a high road, But thank you very much for that. Now back to our topic. We are looking at how to succeed in a hostile business environment. I want to ask you, because before you came, I was talking to Pastor Thomas. Is there any such a thing as a hostile business environment, in your opinion?
Yes, I actually believe that we have what is called a hostile business environment. Well, it's true that if you are to check Google, you may not see hostile business environment. What you may see is hostile work environment.
Yes.
But when you talk about the hostile business environment, I want to believe you are referring to a business environment that is not favorable to everyone because conditions or situations have made certain people to have an advantage over others. Now, in the context of Cameroon and maybe Africa, we may see in situations with especially startups who want to compete, and maybe we have problems of policies that are not favorable to them. We have bigger companies with so much monopoly, which makes it difficult for them to breathe because they can easily be suppressed. We are thinking about maybe you see how difficult it was for me getting internet here. I think that is hostile. It's not favorable. Whereas maybe the average European or maybe another person that has a bigger income power can easily get a stronger internet source, whereas it was supposed to be something that even the average person is supposed to be able to get. You see that it becomes hostile, it becomes more competitive for you. So I see a hostile business environment as one that is highly competitive, too competitive for the average person or the average to scale.
Right. So you see, for you, hostility is more about the ability to to compete, and not about maybe the policies themselves. Because like before you came, Pastor Thomas was talking about if the banking is not properly done and there's no easy access or cheap access to finance, then that is hostile environment. Like government policies, they can bring hostility and taxation and things like that. But you're looking at it from a different perspective. Is that?
Yes, I think the policies and everything is one part of it, and then the other part of it has to do with all the situations that we find on ground that makes it difficult for the average entrepreneur to scale.
Right. Now you have been doing this in Cameroon. You started with 47 people the first year, then 65, and now you're pulling in thousands of people together. How did you do that?
I think one of the things that helped me is the fact that before getting into this, I'd already developed a tough mind.
Good.
One of the things that I think every entrepreneur needs to have is a thick skin, which means you forget about the results that you are getting and you focus on the process. Now, when you focus on getting the results quickly, what is going to happen is that you're going to get tired. You're going to give up. But you believe firmly and you see the results in your mind, and every other thing that happens along the way, you just see it as part of the process, and you continue to build, you continue to work. There comes a moment where the breakthrough comes in. I really love to take the analogy of, you see someone breaking stones, the stone breakers.
Yes.
You will see him take a hammer, he will be hammering away on the stone for a very long time. He could even hammer 100 times, and there's no crack on the stone. But on the 101 time, the stone will break from top to bottom. It is not the last hammer that was able to break the stone, but accumulation of all the previous blows that he was giving. And so I already had in mind that someday this is where I'm going to get to. And every other thing that will be happening, be it a distraction, be it a difficulty, I told myself I just need to keep on learning, improving, getting better, and pushing, and being consistent. I'll know I'll get to the point where I'll be able to pull thousands. And just in passing, maybe you have never known this because I've never told you. What made me saw you and started following you? You were supposed to organize an event in Yaoundé, and you did a poll, and we're asking, will they want Les Brown? Will they want so and so person to come for the event? I was like, this man is thinking the way I'm thinking. I should connect with him. That's what made me to connect with you on Facebook and you. And the rest, they say, is history.
Yes. But that's something that we're going to do.
Definitely. I still believe, I still dream about it. I still think about it, and I still believe that it's doable.
It will happen.
Yes.
It will happen. One thing I like that you said, was you have to stay focused, and you need to know what you're going after and stay focused regardless of what is happening. That basically boils down to all responsible to success in life. Is it the mindset or the environment?
Actually talking about responsibility. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can get you.
Talking about responsibility, let me just read the message I've sent out to my broadcast list this morning. Take responsibility of your personal development. Never put it in other people's hands. The most important aspect of taking responsibility for your life is to acknowledge that your life is your responsibility. No one can live your life for you. You are in charge, no matter how hard you try to blame others for the events of your life, each event is the result of choices you made and are making. Responsibility is important because it provides a sense of purpose in addition to building resilience and meets adversity on an individual and societal level. By being responsible, you take responsibility for your belief, goals, mistakes. Talked about that. I just thought about reading that message that I sent out to my broadcast this morning.
That's powerful.
And so just as we take responsibility at a personal level, so we must take responsibility as a business at the business level.
So which one is more important, would you say? Is it for you to succeed in business?
Yes.
Which one is better? A good environment or a great mindset?
I'll believe all the two count, and at times it's very difficult. It's very difficult to weigh one up over the other. But I think if you have a great environment without the right mindset, at one point you are still going to fail. Correct. But with the right mindset, we have seen people striving even in the worst of places. So the two of them combined is going to make a better you and make you to prevail better. You should start with that mindset, because without that mindset, given even the right environment, you may not be able to strive.
So you're leaning towards the mindset?
Yes, I'm leaning more towards the mindset. That's right. But okay, I still need a good environment to be able to get the full potential.
You know, some time ago,
no matter how great the mind, if the environment is not right, you may succeed, but not fully the way you were structured to be able to succeed.
Right. Some time ago, I put out a poll about, which one is better, which one is the cause of success. Is it the mindset or is it the environment? And it was fiery. People said it's a mindset, others said it's the environment, and it's always one of those things. But for me, I will always lean towards the mindset. Why? Because yeah, go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. In an environment like Cameroon and Africa, whereby the governments and the structures are still struggling to put the right environment, if you want to lean on the debate that the environment is more important, you will discover that you give reasons not to try enough. You give reasons to explain mediocrity. But if you capitalize on mindset, then you discover no matter how tough the environment is, people will still strive. And then when we have the right environment, we'll just blow, we'll hammer, like the Nigerians say.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting perspective. Definitely. I do believe everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. So because a dysfunctional mind, we call them mad or crazy, because they're dysfunctional. Because they cannot think straight, they cannot, put things together, and those are solely dependent upon the environment. But obviously, the two go together. If you've got
definitely,
if you've got a great mindset in a great environment, then you've won the jackpot. But you can have a great mindset in a terrible, constraining environment, you will still succeed. But the level of success is going to be, like you said, minimal. The impact will not be as great, as probably it could be. Now we've got a question. How do people then develop and maintain the right mindset? How do you develop and maintain the right mindset?
Okay, developing and maintaining the right mindset, I believe, is a process. And it starts with that willingness and that understanding that all what has been provided to you by way of education may not be enough, and that we need to add to it to be able to grow. So when you have the will that, okay, I'm going to develop a great mindset, you start looking around. And when you are looking around, you are asking yourself, you start asking yourself, who are the people that I should link with? What do I need to study something to add to what I already know? I think one of the great people that I admire their mindsets that we can easily take from them as sportsmen, sports people. You will see that they take time to build their ability. And so I would suggest that one of the things is to listen to people who have gone ahead and succeeded in what you want to succeed. If possible, study their biography. Because an interesting thing is that when you study these people's biography, you will discover that they went through a lot of failure, they went through a lot of difficulties, which we don't see when we just look at their glory on TV, on papers and stuff. And then connect yourself to the right type of mentors. Continue to read to be inspired. You know, join associations, go for events that will empower you. That is how we continually build that type of mindset. Also know what to cut away from your life. Cut away negativity in all its forms. Toxic people, you need to, remove them from your life. And you should be unapologetic about that process, because when you are taking out this process, friends, family members can blackmail you into going back, because they will make you feel as if you are becoming a bad person. And that is the reason why the name of my organization is GoMAD, because I believe no average person, no normal people achieve extraordinary things. You need to be a mad person. So it's not that mad is not just for making a difference, but it's also about actually being mad, about not being the average person.
That's right. I like that. Yeah. You need to be mad about not being, an average person. Definitely, like, just to add to that about developing a great mindset. First and foremost, you need to distance yourself from mindsets which you consider are not great. Because inwardly, we know what a great mindset is. I can tell you this, since 2019, there's no TV in my house. I don't watch the news. I don't want to know what is going on in the news, because all you will get is stories of how terrible and horrible, things are going on in the world. So first, you need to take out of your environment anything that makes you think less of yourself, anything that doesn't make you, think great about yourself, anything that makes you believe less about yourself, anything that says there's so much limitation and darkness. You need to take these things out of you. This is why, like in the Bible, it says you need to be renewed by, first of all, renewing your mind. Napoleon Hill, in one of his sessions, he was teaching the people, you need to have a mastermind of people that think like you, a mastermind of people that see the world like you see it, a mastermind of people that are optimistic, that are positive, a mastermind of people that say, regardless of the darkness, there is light, and we are that light. So I think developing a strong mindset is one of the highest things that in our day, if people can actually focus on. A mindset, like you said, thick skin, that says that, you may not like my face, but I don't care whether you like my face or not. I will still be, doing what I'm doing, regardless of whether you like it or not. A mindset that says, regardless of how many times I have failed as an entrepreneur, it's okay, because I'm still learning. And one thing I want you guys to go home with, or, you're watching, is remember this. As long as you're dealing with human beings, you will never mess up too badly, because there is no mess up that you can ever mess up that has never happened before you. And if you know that you can never mess up too badly, then you can let go of all the baggage of what would people think, what would mommy or daddy think, what would my brother or my sister or my auntie think. Because what we think about others' opinions is what most at times limits us. Oftentimes, that is what limits us. What we think about what other people are going to say, it limits us a lot. So to be honest with you, you need to get to a point where all you care about, all you want to do is to succeed so badly that regardless of what anybody thinks or says about you, doesn't bother you. until you get to that place, it becomes difficult for you to develop the right mindset, the right attitude, the right confidence in yourself, because you need to have a certain confidence in yourself to succeed. I can tell you this. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you will not be able to succeed. I'm telling you. You see, and how do you build confidence in yourself? How do you, build that mindset that says that I know, I can do this regardless of what people think. I know I can do this regardless of what people may say. For me, I find that confidence coming from my faith in God. So you need to have a base by which you can look back and you can remind yourself, I am this and not that. You see, and you need to also remind yourself, of who you are. Who are you? Are you this person that everybody just tosses about? Everybody just messes about you. Who are you? Who do you define yourself to be? How do people see you? How do you see yourself, first of all, before how people see you? You need to know for yourself. You need to decide for yourself who you are, what you stand for. And once you know who you are and what you stand for, then you can begin to build on that foundation. If you have a shaky foundation, what I mean by a shaky foundation, if you have a shaky foundation, a foundation that whatever anybody says affects you. Oh, this person doesn't like how you painted your face. You go home and you cry. Oh, this person says you are a fraud, you are a scam. You go home and you stop, you freeze on your tracks. Oh, this person says this, and then you go home and you paralyze. You start a business and it flops, and everybody's saying, okay, we knew he was going to fail. We knew it. We knew, and then you just give up. You never try again. If you have that kind of attitude about yourself, it means you don't respect yourself enough. You don't believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, you can never have self-confidence. If you don't have self-confidence, this thing called entrepreneurship is not meant for you. You see, so you need to get to the place where you will look yourself in the mirror and you love the beautiful face that you see in the mirror. You will look yourself in the mirror and you will shake your own hand and you say, hey, Gerald, you know what? We're doing fantastic. You need to do crazy things like Godlove said. You need to go mad about not being great. Think about it. Only a human being can say, I am. And whatever you qualify after that, I am. If you put the right attitude to it, you can become it. If you say, I am a billionaire, you put the right attitude, the right mindset, you put in all your being and your energy to it, you will become it. And if you say, I am stupid or I am foolish, everybody says I'm dull. Everybody says I'm not going to make it. Hey, trust me, even if God comes down, God is not going to help you. I'm telling you this. You see, you can do all manners of religious things that you want to do. It's not going to help you, man. It wouldn't help you.
That's right.
It wouldn't. So you need to, first of all, believe in yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself. You need to care less about what people say about you. You need to literally ignore people's opinions about you. You need to get up every day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can do this. Even if no one else sees it, I say it. You need to go to bed every day, imagining yourself in the future of who you've become. Very successful entrepreneur, well-respected, you're influential. Whoever is anybody in society wants to be your friend. They want you to come to their parties. They want you to come to their occasions. They're sending you invitation. Man, you've got to dream. That's what I'm saying. Because the deeper and the more you dream, the more the convictions that you build inside. The more the convictions that you build inside, the more successful you will become. I'm telling you, like Godlove said, the universe literally then begin to bring things into place. The right kind of people. You know those kind of people that everything just seems to be so easy for them?
Yes.
Every time somebody asks me, how you doing? I was like, hey, listen, man, I'm the only man on this planet who has no problems. Think about it. I have no problems, whether they are financial, marital, emotional, psychological, or spiritual. I have no problems. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have challenges. I can have challenges, but I don't have problems, man. The problem is when you make it a problem. A challenge is just a challenge. I can be going somewhere and I can fall down, I can start a business and it can flop. That's okay. That's not a problem. You see, so we need to begin to start changing some of these constructs that we've grown up with, and believe in yourself because you can do much better. Hey, listen, now I want to ask you, something. Godlove, I want to ask you something. I want you to share with us what has been on this journey of entrepreneurship. What has been your darkest moment? I mean, that moment when you felt everything is against you and everyone is against you. Can you share that moment with the audience? Because we all have it.
Yes, I want to believe that everyone who takes this part actually comes across such a moment. Before resigning in 2018, I had just discovered cryptocurrencies in 2017, and unfortunately, the first crypto platform that I got involved in it was one that I would qualify as a Ponzi. But being an amateur and not being having no person to guide me before, I fell for it. I did not only fall for it, I started promoting it. I think I'm actually one of those who made training popular here in Cameroon as far as blockchain and cryptocurrencies are concerned. But the good thing, despite that, is that while people focus on promoting the platforms, my focus first of all to always teach a little I knew about blockchain, about cryptocurrencies before introducing the opportunity to them. And so I think that was in April or May 2018, I attended I attended the World Blockchain Forum in Dubai. And then it opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And I started seeing red flags in what I was promoting. Right. And so when I came back, the first thing is that I called everybody that I introduced. I said, what we are involved in, I'm not so sure it's going to still have a very long life. By then, everything was still going fine.
Integrity.
And they asked me why. I explained to them, and I stopped actually having seminars. And I think a few weeks after, I actually saw you publish a video concerning Bitwell.
Right.
And interestingly, after just stopping that one, the CEOs of Bitwell had come to Kenya. Since they discovered I was good at promoting that one, I was number one. They called me and they offered to pay me monthly for me to promote it. I asked them to send me their compensation plan. They sent me, it was more like a photocopy of where I was walking away from. I had to refuse. The only thing that changed in it was actually the logo. It was the same, everything was the same. I actually rejected it, stopped it, and I got myself a mentor in cryptocurrency who happened to be a Cameroonian based in Tanzania. And that guy taught me a lot. And he actually carried me through a process where he was teaching me and made me to start actually learning crypto. And then he introduced an opportunity to me. You can imagine Cardon introducing an opportunity to you. You have been a devout student to him. You believe what he says and everything. So I went into it. And even going into it, I still told myself I was going to take some time to observe. I took 3 months time to observe. Everything seemingly was moving okay, the education and everything. And when I decided that it was okay, I went in there, head, body, and soul. Just for me, few days down the line, few months down the line, and getting a lot of people involved. And when I say getting people involved, some of them, the way I got them involved, this trust factor that somebody just tell you, Godlove, I believe in you. I don't even want to know about it. Just take this money and manage it.
Yeah.
We had cases like that. So you had some people who were dealing directly with them that saw what was happening. And when the thing crashed, it was one of my darkest periods. because not only did everything I'd worked for, I'd also put it in there, but a lot of people who had come because they trusted me, they had put in money there.
Wow.
And the good thing, what I would say helped me is the fact that I don't think I do any financial transaction that my wife is not there with. So basically, we do everything together.
Yeah,
And she knew that, okay, this is the situation, and we could weather that together. And I had to take engagement from different people that I was going to refund their money, over 78 millions. And as we speak, I'm left with about 7.8 that I'm still refunding since 2019.
Wow. Wow.
So that was the good thing is that because a lot had good working condition with people, nobody took me to justice. It was just friendly arrangements and acceptance and everything. But it was a dark moment for me because it was like I had to start rebuilding from scratch. And since then, I've been very, very careful with whatever I want to put my name in, because wanting to build a name in the personal development scene means that you should have a top-notch reputation.
Yeah. Wow, thank you very much for that. I can definitely relate with that, because I've been in investments for much more than a decade now. And obviously, when you start, you are enthusiastic, you're hungry, you're passionate. Something similar happened to me like way down 2014. We had a massive office, about 22 young people, brokers in there, and we were doing amazing things, you see. And we were doing managed accounts, we were managing investments for people, you see. And then this event occurred, where the Swiss central bank dropped the peg against the euro, and everything just went crashing. I was in Forex then, like everything just went down, and we lost way over 200 and something thousand pounds. You see, it was a lot of money. And this came from people that trusted me, people that believed in what I was doing. It was a difficult time. And I looked around and I said, what am I going to do now? So I had to contact the authorities and explain to them what had happened, and that we've lost this money. I couldn't pay. 2014, I didn't have 200,000 pounds, So obviously, we went through insolvency, liquidation. It was a dark moment for me. News articles came out in the UK. I'm talking, like people wrote about me in the UK. Can you think about that? I was on the news headlines in the UK.
I can imagine that.
News headlines in the UK. Oh, Gerald Cheto Etangayom of Southeast London. The typical one was investment trader mismanaged clients' funds, and man, it was horrible. Like, you don't want to get on the news line in the UK, man. Like, you see these paparazzis, they will stalk you like little ants and rats. They want to get a story from you. They keep bugging you and calling your name and calling your number. Man, it was horrible. It was horrible. And for some time, I just took off time and I just went to Cameroon just to chill. My mother would look at me, it's like, what is wrong, Gerald? I was like, don't worry, Mom, it's okay. Some of my friends, some of them didn't even know what was going on. They would look at me like, what's wrong? I was like, don't worry. After like about a month, I cleared my head and I came back and I told myself, from now on, no one will lose money with me again. And that was when my personal logo was born: integrity before profit. Not that I did something funny, because if I actually did anything fraudulent, I would be behind bars, you see. But from that moment, I promised myself, from now on in this industry, integrity comes before profit. But not just that, nobody will lose money investing with me again. Now, it's a bold statement to make that, to say that. I mean, in the financial sector, it's a bold statement to say nobody will lose money with me again. And that was like what, 7 years ago. Like since then up till now, no one has lost money with me again. You see, why? Because these dark moments, they teach us a lot. And like you, I can definitely understand. And you, most people will not even pay those people, but you took upon yourself, for the sake of your integrity, for the sake of your name, to pay them. I didn't pay the people that lost money with me. Not that I didn't have the money. I wanted to pay them back. But I had already been sanctioned. It's already been written against me, you know. So I wanted to pay back. The lawyers refused. The insolvency, they said, no, it's pointless. You know, if you have money, because this happened like 2014. My major break, you know, came 2017. This was when I saw some money, man. You know, so I wanted to pay them back. They're like, no, you cannot do that, you know. But hey, listen, those that I could pay, I called them on the back. I was like, hey, listen, man, sorry what happened. You know, it was not my intention. It wasn't deliberate. Here's your money. You know, I wish you the best, but it's never going to happen again moving forward. But hey, listen, like it was such an amazing experience for me because it taught me something about the value of integrity. And so from then till I die, I don't joke with integrity again. You see, and that's a good, I thank you very much for sharing that, you see, because I want people to know and see that on this journey of entrepreneurship, we are not robots. We are human beings. You know, people will make mistakes, but let's not judge them too harshly. When it's somebody else, we want them to be put in prison and killed. But when it's you, you want to be showed mercy. Why not extend that same courtesy when somebody else finds themselves in such a mess? You see, it's good to extend such a courtesy to someone who's found themselves in such a situation. And don't be too hasty sometimes to judge because you don't know and you don't have the true facts sometimes. But it is also good that we should be honest to tell people when we realize that what we've been involved with is not going to be sustainable. You see, like Godlove, he told the people, I made a video. I made a video about Bid World, and I told people this thing is going to fall. I received all manners of attacks when I made that video. Chai Mall, I told people it's going to fall. And sometimes people think I'm doing it because I want to promote my own business. No. I just have this thing in me. If I see that it's not going to work out, I have to warn somebody. I have to say, God has given us this platform, not for us to be, not for us to be playing politics or shying away from people saying, oh, you're just saying it because you want to promote yourself. No, God has given us these platforms so that we can help people. We've seen how the twists and the turns can happen. And if I don't want you, then I'm contradicting my own motto, which says integrity before profit. You see, I prefer to tell you the truth than for you to invest 100 million francs with me on lies that I have told you. It's happened to me several times. It happened to me in 2019. Somebody wanted to invest 2 billion francs. I'm just saying this open for the first time, 2 billion francs. And I told them no, because I knew where the money came from. I could not sleep with myself. It was money that, Fortune needed then, but I couldn't let that come on board. Why? Integrity, you see. So when you get on this journey for you to be successful long term, you need to also have some values of integrity, values of, not deliberately doing something to hurt the people. If you're honest and you're open, like Godlove, he was open. And I know it was probably not easy for you sharing this story this afternoon.
Yes, but the point is before, it was difficult, but I've come to the point of understanding that such stories actually empower other people and also make them understand that there's no one who is perfect.
No.
maybe somebody may just be seeing you, admiring you, feeling that you have it all figured out. But no, it's been a process, it's been a journey. Because I remember back then, just like you made a decision and said integrity before profit. I remember what I wrote down is I can lead people to the wrong direction if I don't know it's the wrong direction. But I will never lead anyone to the wrong direction, knowing fully well it's the wrong direction, just because I'm going to make money out of it. I remember that's what I wrote down. And that has been the principle that I've been working with. And at least it permits me to sleep peacefully each day and get up a happy person without fear of any person coming behind me.
Yeah. So before we close, I just want you to share, with the audience, some of the success principles that you've learned doing business in a hostile environment. What are some of those principles that have helped you and they have guided you for you to continually see growth in your business? Because GoMAD just started when? 2017? And
2018, October.
2018. So basically it's coming up to 4 years. And you're
very soon.
You're pulling in thousands of people. That is incredible. Can you share some principles that have guided you so far?
Well, I think one of the principles that I've been using, which I hold dearly, it's excellence. Excellence in delivery, excellence in service, because we are in a context whereby people barely do average. And when you are a little bit above average, it seems as if you are doing very well.
True.
But then I also discovered that when you put in the principle of excellence, it attracts the right type of audience. One of the scriptures that challenges me so much is from Proverbs. It says, "Seest thou a man who is diligent in his way?" The Bible says he will not stand before mere men. He will not stand before obscure men. He will not stand before average people, but he will stand before kings. And he who talks about kings is talking about masters. What attracts masters to what will attract a master or a king to you is excellence. Because royalty is about excellence. And that is the aspect that we put in GoMAD and we continually build. For the first three GoMADs were not making money. In fact, what we were spending was above what was coming in as registration. But we had a standard that I wanted to uphold, because there's one thing that I wanted us to be known for. So I had to maintain it, because you knew it was a season of planting.
Yeah.
And another element that I hold so dearly is that of time management, because I believe the time is so limited that we must make good use of it. Ephesians will say, redeeming the time.
That's right.
So if you feel that you have all the time on earth to do what you want, the success that you want to acquire will pass by. And this aspect of time, we also inculcated into GoMAD. As a matter of fact, from GoMAD 1, we started refunding the money of people who came late. Because we told you, we need your money, but we want you to understand being on time is more important than your money.
Yeah.
And I remember in GoMAD and GoMAD 5, when at the season of COVID, it was in August 2020, we had people who came from Kumba. That was like the moment that GoMAD started going very big. We were supposed to start checking in people to the hall at 7:40, but at 7:15, the whole hotel ground was so full of hundreds of people that the guards had to come and complain to us that there were too many people. We had to check them in, but it was not yet our time to check people in, because the message was out there and very clear. If you come late, you may not attend the event, and people were looking forward to attending it. We had planned for 250 people, and 320 people had signed up, and we had to stop registration 3 days before the event. Because the hall that we took could just take 300 people, and now we're up to 320 people, and it was more than us to handle. So I've talked about the principle of time management, I've talked about the principle of excellence. And another principle that I hold dearly to my heart that I learned from my father is that of humility. I've seen that humility will actually open doors to you.
That's right.
Humility will allow you to learn from anyone, from everyone at any time.
True.
When people notice that you are a humble person, they are ready to open up to you and share with you. So there's humility. On the other hand, there is also the desire to learn. The desire to learn. Because especially in this century and time, things are changing so fast. Knowledge is becoming obsolete so fast that you need to keep on updating yourself, except you want to become outdated. So you need to ask yourself, what are those things that are relevant to my field? What are those things that are relevant to my industry? How do I put up with them so that I can implement them, be it in business, be it in your personal life? When you include these elements, I think I'm not giving an exhaustive list, but I'm just sharing some of those things that I hold dearly. And so the last one that I want to add, which I think is the reason, especially as far as investment is concerned, is that more people want to invest in business than they want to invest in themselves. But it should not be that way. You should invest in yourself so that that self that you invested in will become a good person to be able to invest in any type of business. People are ready to take 10 million and invest in a business that they don't understand because they hear that it's going to double overnight, but they are not ready to take 100,000 and pay for a training that would develop their mind to be able to handle a 5 million or 10 million business. That is where most of us are getting it wrong. And until we change our mindset to start investing more in ourselves than we are investing in businesses, our businesses will continue to turn around, or even platforms that will continue to invest in platforms that promise us. Because just as we were sharing with what happened with you and my own experience, the truth is those platforms will always be safe, will always be there. All what they will do is they will go and change an old cloth, put on a new one. They will go and change their words and bring new words. And I was just sitting the other day, I was asking myself, is it that people don't learn or what? And so when they do that and you have invested in yourself, it doesn't matter how they change their dresses, you'll be able to my wife is a financial person. She's an accountant. And one thing I know they are being taught, especially people who work in the bank, they are not taught different fake banknotes. They don't teach you this is a fake banknote, this is how a fake banknote is. They teach you how an authentic banknote looks like. When you know how an authentic banknote looks like, anytime you see a fake, you know that this is a fake. But when you spend your time studying what is fake, when the fake will disguise in another format, you will not know. But as long as you know the original, you will always be able to discover the fake. And again, the fact that we have scams out there doesn't mean that they are genuine activities that take place, because they can never be a fake or a scam when there's no original. That's unfortunately true. People are too short-sighted that they are easily carried away by what is fake, by what is not authentic. And people have a tendency of saying it pays. Yes, but for how long? Where is the sustainability? I tell people the fact that a company, a platform is paying is not a proof that it will always be there.
That's true.
The question is, what is their sustainability plan?
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much for that. I think you just touch on Eyong Eno and I, the former vice captain of the national team. We're talking the other day on his live show, and it's something like this we're talking about. That people, there is in Africa, we've got what I call success complex. and we've also got the poverty complex. The poverty complex is that complex that, makes someone to be very itchy to try to get out of poverty overnight. And so everything that looks like overnight success will be very attractive to the poverty complex. Listen to me. Everything that looks like it will become an overnight success is attractive to the poverty complex. So this is why somebody will come and say, oh, hey, listen, come here to this platform. You will make 10% every week or 10% every day. And somebody will already do the mathematics in their head. Oh, if I make 10% a day, that's what? It's like almost 100% in 10 days. Wow. So in a month, 300%. What they don't understand is that is absolutely not sustainable. And one of the things I teach people is before you think about how much profit you're going to make from a business, first of all, consider how sustainable it is. It is better for you to have 10% a year for the next 100 years than to have 50% a day for the next 2 days or 3 days or even 1 month or 1 year. Because sustainability is key in business. So before we close, talking of investments, where do you invest your money? Now tell us, where do you put your money, Godlove? Where do you invest all this money from GoMAD? Where are you putting this money?
Well,
let people want to know now where you're investing that money.
I will not say GoMAD is an income is making a lot of money.
I'm joking. I'm
not there.
You.
But one of the things, one of the areas that I still go into, I still look at certain cryptos that I still buy and keep. Also, we are going into serious farming. I'm having a team of guys that we are pulling together resources, and we have a company, and the aim is to valorize African honey. So we want African honey to be in the world market. And so, because it's a very heavy project, we decided to start with farming because we are planning to have a full ecosystem, a full value chain, whereby we have the farms where the bees are being cultivated and subsequently the honey. We have quantum farms whereby the honey is being energized, and all this honey will be in a blockchain whereby the final honey you can actually trace from where it's coming from, how it was produced. But we decided to start with the elementary of having the farm, running the farm successfully. So that is where a bulk of my time and energy is going. So we are building it low key at the moment because we want to actually build it to something that people can see before we can actually request for people to come in and invest. And we have decided anybody that invests there, to know that the first 18 months to probably 2 years, you're not having a dime.
Yeah.
You're not coming to me today and expect that next month or 2 months we'll start giving you profit sharing. And even when we start sharing profits, it's not going to be based on certain percentages. It's going to be based on the profit that the company makes, because we have already drawn a profit margin. We know, okay, when we make this much profit, 20% is going for R&D. This percentage is going back to reinvest in the business, and this percentage is what we share. Now we'll share it now according to the number of investors, and so that is something that is taking my time, and we are building gradually.
That's interesting. An interesting concept. An interesting concept. And definitely I like it because oftentimes people I think this is mostly like in Africa, Africans in general, because I have people from literally all over Africa. And the first thing is, okay, how much do I get? How soon do I get it? And that's a very wrong mindset. That's a very wrong question to ask, in every investment that you're getting into. First, look at the product, look at how sustainable it is. And most people will always fall for scams because they tell, oh, don't worry, you'll get 20%. Oh, 20%. And no, how soon do I get it? You get it in 2 weeks. Oh, great. How much do you want? But those are not the right questions. So as long as we get people thinking sustainably, then it's going to be, just like you're doing it. That is the proper way, of raising capital from people who are actually investors, not shoppers. Some people are shoppers, not investors. They want to shop and just buy the good and take it home the same day. In investment, you put it in there, you wait some more, and then a little trickle will come in, and then you wait a little bit more, another trickle will come in, and then over the long term, something bigger is going to definitely come on board. So hey, listen, my name is Gerald. Again, here we are, the entrepreneur. Now, if you're thinking investments, you know where to find me on Masternode, on Rental Chain. Why? Because I believe the blockchain is the next best place for you to invest. You see, in the 1800s, all of us here were not born, and so we could not invest in oil and in gold. In the late 70s, 80s, and the early 90s, most of us were still very young, probably. Some were not even born, so we could not invest in the stock market. You see, in the early 2000s, some of us were still very, very young, or in these colleges or in universities, and so we could not invest in the dot-com boom. In the Apples, we could not invest in the Amazons and the Googles and the Oracles. We missed that. But now, you and I, we are here, and the blockchain is here. There are great opportunities in the blockchain, and one of the best, again, I'm saying this with integrity in my heart. One of the best places is with masternoded.com, because you get about 3 to 7% every single month. That is a lot, but it is very sustainable. Do you know why? Because they build digital real estate. They build servers and rent these servers on a monthly basis, collect the rent, and then distribute the rent. It's like a landlord builds his house, collects the rent, and he can share the rents with investors if he has. If he doesn't have, then he keeps all the rent. This is what it is, but it's happening on the blockchain. The blockchain is the next big thing, and we are also getting into the metaverse. Last 2 weeks or last week or so, Eyong and I, we spoke about a great project called the Alphaverse, incredible project transforming, Africa and bringing Africa into the metaverse. It's a great project. If you want to know more, you can send me a message, or you can go to www.alphaverse.io. You can find, if you want cash flows on a monthly basis and you don't have a lot of money, but you can afford 100 euros, I believe everyone can, then you should check Rental Chain out. Rental Chain, rental, like RENTAL, then chain, CHAIN.co.uk, rentalchain.co.uk. With just 100 euros, you can begin to build great passive income for yourselves. My name is Gerald Chiato. I have been your host today, and I want to say thank you for being here today. I must apologize for the technical difficulties and the challenges that we've had. The internet has been very shaky today, but subsequently, we will continue to improve as time goes on, okay? Now, I have a surprise for you. This Sunday that is coming. I mean, this Sunday, that is coming in the next 4 days. This Sunday, I've got a gentleman who's one of the funniest comedians in Africa. They call him Richard, aka the mentor of mentors. He will be joining me live here on The Entrepreneur. What most people only see him as is Richard the comedian or the street hustler who was trying to make it and live day to day. What they don't understand or see is that he is an incredible entrepreneur. I will be bringing him here to share his story with each and every one of you. So before I go, I'm going to take some questions. I know we've answered some questions as we're going, which is very good. Very, very good. I want to see if you have any question. Do you have any question about what we're talking about today? We were talking about success in a hostile business environment. And like you have heard from both our guests, there is a thing as a hostile business environment, but it's not so much as hostile. It is more about the opportunities that it presents. If you can handle the hostility well with a great solution, you will be rewarded financially. And we've also heard Godlove tell about his experience and his lowest moment. I know it's not easy. I have been there. Probably you're listening. You probably have been there too, but you're still going. I want to say, do not be discouraged. Regardless of what you've been called, regardless of what they've said about you, it's okay. You can still make it through to the end. That goal that you have about yourself, that objective that you've set out to achieve, that ambition that you have, that dream that you have, it was given to you. Own it and do not be discouraged. No matter what happens, do not be discouraged. You are well able to go through the adversity, to go through the challenges. You will go through the water. You will not be overpowered by it. You will go through the fire. The fire will not consume you because there is something greater that is in you. And you know what I'm saying is true because you know it. You know it. That is why you haven't given up yet. That is why you keep believing. That is why you keep waking up every single day. And that is probably why you haven't committed suicide. If you thought, the world is over, yeah, those people killed themselves. You haven't killed yourself. And you're not going to kill yourself. No, you will turn it around and you will become what you've set out to be and what God has created you to be. It is my prayer that you've learned something here today. And as you go, and I look forward to seeing you again this Sunday, I want you to refresh or think about what we've spoken about today. Think about it deeply. There would be challenges, but they are not so much challenges. They are not problems as in problems. They're just there telling you what you have to do next. So just do it, get over with it, and become who you want to become. Become who God sees you to be. Become what you believe yourself to be. Have conversations with yourself. Tell yourself you can do it and believe that you can, and yes, you will. So stay blessed until I see you again on Sunday, same time, 3 p.m. Cameroon time, 3 p.m. UK time, and we will have a fantastic day. Trust me, Richard, he's polishing his boots and his games. I'm going to ask him questions that he's never been asked before, but I believe that you will also learn from his journey. It doesn't matter where you find yourself. Even if you're selling just clothes in the market, that is a starting point. If you have roasting things or fish along the street, that is still something. If you're hawking, whatever it is you're hawking, that is a starting point. We all start from somewhere. I started on a mat. I was sleeping on the mat. Rats were eating my fingernails and my toenails. Cockroaches were peeing and shitting on me. And I was quarreling with cockroaches in my soup. I will pick them, throw them out, and I'll carry on eating in my soup. This is where I've come from to where I am today. But I know my journey is not yet complete. Oh, no. The light is getting brighter. And it is also getting brighter for you. Believe it and you will see it. God bless you, and I will see you on Sunday.